Manly P. Hall, a name that resonates deeply within the realms of esoteric knowledge and mysticism. But who was Manly P. Hall, and what hidden secrets did he uncover throughout his life? Welcome to a journey into the depths of ancient wisdom, where the lines between science, spirituality, and the occult blur. Hall's work touched on some of the most profound and mystical aspects of human history. From the mysteries of alchemy to the hidden truths of Freemasonry, Hall believed that there was a secret world of knowledge that had been passed down through the ages, concealed in symbols, rituals, and teachings. But why? Why has this wisdom been kept secret? And what was its true purpose? As we begin to delve into Manly P. Hall's life and teachings, we uncover a path that leads to greater understanding of the universe itself. This knowledge is not just for scholars or initiates of secret societies. It's for anyone who is willing to look beyond the surface and seek a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. In this video, we will explore Hall's groundbreaking work and the hidden secrets that he revealed to us, secrets that many believe could change the way we perceive our existence and our connection to the cosmos. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and leave a comment below telling us what aspect of Manly P. Hall's teachings interests you the most. Is it his view on secret societies, his exploration of alchemy, or perhaps the universal truth he believed lies at the heart of all spiritual traditions? But hold on, this is just the beginning. And as we move through this journey, you'll begin to see how these teachings can truly change your perspective. So let's jump in. To understand the depth of Manly P. Hall's teachings, we must first explore the concept of esoteric wisdom. Hall believed that the ancient traditions of philosophy, spirituality, and mysticism contained profound knowledge. Knowledge that was hidden from the masses, intentionally safeguarded by a select few. Esoteric knowledge, according to Hall, was not meant to be universally accessible. This was a form of wisdom that was passed down only to those who were spiritually ready to receive it. In his landmark work, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, Hall delves into the rich history of esotericism, pulling together teachings from various cultures, from ancient Egypt to the Hermetic tradition, and even the mysteries of the Freemasons. But why was this wisdom concealed? Hall argued that this knowledge was so powerful that it could lead to a shift in consciousness. If it fell into the wrong hands, it could be misused. Thus, it was encoded in symbols, myths, and metaphors, only to be unlocked by those who were prepared to see beyond the ordinary. One of the most intriguing aspects of Hall's work is his view of symbolism. Hall emphasized that symbols are not mere decorative images. They are powerful tools for understanding the deeper truths of existence. Whether it's the all-seeing eye of the Freemasons, the pentagram of ancient alchemy, or the cross of Christianity, these symbols contain layers of meaning that point to universal truths about humanity and the cosmos. Through symbols, Hall believed we could begin to comprehend the vast hidden forces that shape our lives and the universe. But unlocking these symbols requires a specific mindset, one that is open, receptive, and ready to see beyond the surface. So as we explore the mysteries of Hall's teachings, remember that each symbol, each allegory, is a stepping stone toward uncovering the greater truth about the cosmos and our place within it. But Hall's journey didn't stop at symbolism. He believed that initiation into deeper levels of spiritual wisdom was essential for unlocking these truths. Hall's exploration of esotericism went beyond just understanding symbols and rituals. For him, the key to accessing the deeper wisdom of these ancient traditions was initiation. But what exactly does initiation mean in the context of Hall's teachings? Initiation, in its truest sense, is not just a ceremonial rite or a superficial act of joining a group. Hall viewed it as a spiritual journey, a transformative process that takes the seeker through various stages of self-discovery and enlightenment. It's a path of inner growth, where the individual sheds their old understanding of reality and begins to see the world in a completely new light. For Hall, true initiation involved much more than attending a secret meeting or being given a symbolic token. It was about a personal, internal awakening. This awakening, he argued, came through a deep study of mystical texts, meditation, and an openness to experiences that challenged the conventional understanding of the material world. It was through this process that the initiate would begin to comprehend the hidden truths that have been passed down through the ages. But initiation, Hall also emphasized, was not an easy path. It requires commitment and the willingness to let go of old paradigms, accepting that the journey to wisdom is not linear. In his view, the path of initiation was often filled with obstacles, doubts, and trials, which served to strengthen the seeker's resolve and their understanding of the mystical forces at play in the universe. In essence, initiation was not just about learning a new set of beliefs or practices, it was about transformation, the kind of transformation that leads to spiritual maturity and a deeper connection with the divine. As Hall pointed out, it is through these initiations that the individual comes to understand the unity of all spiritual paths and the universal truth that underpins them. Hall's teachings about initiation underscore a powerful idea. That true spiritual knowledge is not something that can be handed to you on a silver platter. It must be earned through inner work, discipline, and a willingness to evolve on a deeply personal level. But with this initiation comes the privilege of understanding the deeper mysteries of life, mysteries that have been kept hidden for centuries. Now that we've explored the idea of initiation, we turn our focus to one of the most significant influences on Manly P. Hall's work, the Hermetic tradition. This ancient school of thought, rooted in the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, is central to understanding Hall's approach to esotericism. The Hermetic tradition is a philosophy that blends spirituality, mysticism, and science, and it offers a profound way of understanding the universe. The key to the Hermetic worldview lies in the 7 Hermetic principles, which Hall wrote about extensively. These principles are the foundational laws of the universe, which govern everything from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. One of the most famous Hermetic principles is, "As above, so below." This phrase captures the essence of the Hermetic worldview, that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual, are interconnected. The same patterns, laws, and energies that govern the cosmos are also present within us. In essence, we are not separate from the universe, but part of it. Understanding this connection is a crucial part of the journey to spiritual enlightenment. Another key principle is the law of vibration, which states that everything in the universe is in constant motion. From the smallest atoms to the largest stars, everything vibrates at different frequencies. Hall believed that by understanding these vibrations, we could attune ourselves to higher states of consciousness and ultimately to the divine. In addition to these principles, the Hermetic tradition also teaches that all things are dual. Everything has an opposite, and it is through the understanding of these opposites that balance and harmony can be achieved. This principle highlights the importance of duality in the universe, light and dark, masculine and feminine, good and evil, and how these dualities are not in opposition, but in a delicate balance that makes the universe whole. For Hall, the study of the Hermetic principles was not just an intellectual exercise. These teachings provided a practical framework for personal transformation. By aligning with the universal laws, a person could transcend their limited understanding of reality and access a higher state of consciousness. It's through this process that one could begin to unlock the deeper mysteries of life and the universe itself. The Hermetic teachings, then, are not just ancient philosophical ideas. They are a living, breathing blueprint for personal growth and spiritual enlightenment. They offer a guide to navigating the complexities of existence and to understanding our true place within the cosmos. As we delve deeper into the wisdom of Manly P. Hall, we come across one of the most fascinating subjects in his teachings, alchemy. For most people, alchemy is often associated with the ancient quest to turn base metals into gold. But for Hall, alchemy was much more than a materialistic pursuit. It was a symbolic process of spiritual transformation. Hall believed that the true essence of alchemy was not in the physical transformation of substances, but in the transformation of the self. He saw the philosopher's stone, the legendary substance that could turn lead into gold, as a symbol of spiritual enlightenment. The alchemical process for Hall was an allegory for the journey of self-discovery and inner purification. At its core, alchemy teaches that the human soul is in need of purification and refinement. Just as lead must be purified through heat and pressure to become gold, the soul must undergo a similar process of cleansing and transformation. This is where the alchemical idea of the great work comes into play, a term used to describe the spiritual journey of achieving enlightenment and unity with the divine. Hall often discussed the 7 stages of alchemy, each one representing a phase in the process of inner transformation. These stages are symbolic representations of the spiritual work that must be done to attain the philosopher's stone. an enlightened state of being where one has transcended the limitations of the physical world and achieved unity with the higher realms of existence. The stages of alchemy are as follows: calcination, the burning away of impurities, representing the destruction of the ego and false beliefs; dissolution, the breaking down of rigid structures, allowing for flexibility and the dissolution of mental barriers; separation, the process of distinguishing between the true self and the false self; conjunction, the merging of opposites symbolizing the union of the conscious and unconscious mind; fermentation, a process of renewal where the soul is reborn through spiritual awakening; distillation, the refinement of the self, achieving clarity and spiritual purity; coagulation, the final stage, where the seeker achieves unity with the divine and attains the philosopher's stone. For Hall, the philosopher's stone was not a literal object, but a metaphysical state of being, the highest form of spiritual enlightenment. This process, while difficult and long, was the key to unlocking the true potential of the human soul. Alchemy, then, was not just an ancient practice. It was a universal symbol for the inner transformation that all spiritual seekers must undergo. By understanding the alchemical process, one could begin the great work, the journey toward spiritual mastery and the realization of one's true divine nature. Moving forward in our exploration of Manly P. Hall's teachings, we must now address one of the most enigmatic subjects that he devoted much of his life to: Freemasonry. The Freemasons, a secretive and ancient fraternity, have long been surrounded by mystery and intrigue. Hall, with his profound knowledge of esoteric traditions, unlocked the deeper meanings behind Masonic symbols and rituals, shedding light on the hidden truths contained within the Brotherhood. Freemasonry, according to Hall, is not merely a social organization or a fraternal order. It is a spiritual path, a system of initiation that leads to deeper self-understanding and enlightenment. The teachings of the Freemasons, like those of many other secret societies, are encoded in symbols, rituals, and allegories. These symbols are not just decorative. They are profound keys to unlocking the mysteries of the universe and the divine. One of the most well-known symbols of Freemasonry is the square and compass, often seen with the letter G in the center. This symbol, Hall argued, represents the balance between the material and spiritual worlds. The square symbolizes the material world and the physical aspects of existence, while the compass represents the spiritual dimension and the connection to the divine. Together they remind the Freemason to live a life in harmony between these two realms. Another key Masonic symbol is the all-seeing eye, often depicted within a triangle. This eye represents the divine omniscience, the idea that there is an all-knowing force that sees everything in the universe. It also symbolizes the inner vision or spiritual awakening that the Mason must strive for, an awakening to the hidden truths of existence and the divine order of the cosmos. Hall also delved into the deeper meanings behind the Masonic rites of passage. These rites, he explained, are not just ceremonial, they are part of a transformative spiritual process. Each stage of initiation within Freemasonry serves as a metaphor for the seeker's journey toward self-realization and spiritual enlightenment. Through these rituals, the initiate learns to transcend the limitations of the physical world and attune himself to the divine forces that govern the universe. In many of his works, Hall emphasized the idea that the true purpose of Freemasonry is to build the temple of the soul. The Masons, through their symbols and teachings, are tasked with constructing an inner temple, one that represents spiritual purity, wisdom, and harmony. This temple is not a physical building, but a symbolic structure that the initiate builds within himself through his spiritual journey. Hall also explored the Masonic teachings on brotherhood and the idea of the great work. Freemasons believe that by working together in harmony, they can help bring about a more enlightened and just world. This idea of unity, of working as a collective to achieve a higher purpose, was central to Hall's understanding of how spiritual progress is made, not just on an individual level, but collectively, as part of the larger human family. One of the most fascinating aspects of Manly P. Hall's work is his exploration of the connection between science and spirituality. In many ways, Hall sought to bridge the gap between the mystical and the scientific, showing that they were not opposing forces, but two sides of the same coin. Hall was particularly intrigued by the way ancient mystics and philosophers seemed to have an understanding of the universe that modern science was only beginning to discover. He believed that the ancient wisdom traditions, such as the Hermetic and Platonic schools of thought, contained insights into the natural world that contemporary scientists had yet to uncover. For instance, in his writings, Hall often pointed to the laws of nature, laws that ancient mystics understood as divine principles governing the universe. These laws, which governed everything from the movements of the stars to the very structure of the atom, were seen as spiritual laws in ancient thought. Hall believed that modern science, with its discoveries in quantum physics, relativity, and the structure of matter, was slowly catching up to these ancient understandings. One of the most important intersections between science and spirituality, according to Hall, lies in the concept of energy. Both science and esotericism speak of energy as the fundamental force that governs the universe. While scientists study energy in terms of physics, Hall and other mystics understood it as a spiritual force, a force that transcended physical reality and connected all beings. In Hall's view, the ancient teachings about energy were not primitive misunderstandings, but rather a spiritual understanding of what modern science was only beginning to measure. Hall's study of alchemy is a prime example of how he connected science and spirituality. While alchemy is often thought of as a proto-science, Hall argued that it was also a deeply spiritual practice. He believed that the alchemist's work was not just an effort to turn lead into gold, but a symbolic process of spiritual transformation. In this sense, alchemy represents a melding of science and mysticism, where the material world and spiritual reality are intertwined. Similarly, Hall's exploration of sacred geometry reveals another way that science and spirituality intersect. Sacred geometry, which uses mathematical shapes and patterns found in nature, is seen by many spiritual traditions as a reflection of the divine order of the universe. Hall's teachings on sacred geometry show how these patterns, which are found in everything from the growth of plants to the structure of the atom, represent a hidden spiritual truth. These patterns, he believed, were the language of the universe, a language that both scientists and mystics could use to understand the fundamental nature of reality. Hall argued that to truly understand the world around us, we must embrace both the scientific and spiritual perspectives. By combining the objective findings of science with the intuitive insights of spirituality, we can gain a holistic understanding of the universe and our place within it. As we continue exploring the profound insights of Manly P. Hall, we now arrive at a key aspect of his work, his study of comparative religion. Hall was deeply interested in how different religious traditions addressed the same underlying principles of spiritual truth, and he believed that at their core, all religions shared a universal truth. One of Hall's central ideas was that the diversity of religious beliefs, practices, and rituals was not a sign of conflict, but a reflection of humanity's attempt to understand the same eternal truths. Whether it was the teachings of Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, or Islam, Hall believed that all religions pointed to the same spiritual reality, though they expressed it in different forms. In his writings, Hall frequently pointed to the common themes that run through these traditions. For example, the concept of the soul's journey, the idea that life is a journey of spiritual evolution and self-realization, appears in virtually every major religious tradition. In Christianity, this is seen in the idea of salvation and spiritual rebirth. In Hinduism, it is expressed through the concepts of karma and reincarnation. In Buddhism, it is seen in the path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering. Hall also explored the archetypal symbols that appear in different religions. He pointed out that many religions use similar symbols to represent spiritual concepts, such as the tree of life, the serpent, the cross, and the circle. These symbols, while culturally specific, carry universal meanings that transcend time and place. For Hall, these archetypes were like a spiritual language, tools that could be used to unlock deeper insights into the nature of existence. A key example of this is Hall's exploration of the ancient Egyptian religion, which he believed contained many of the foundational principles of all subsequent spiritual traditions. He saw the Egyptian god king Osiris as a symbol of the divine spark that resides within every human being. Similarly, he viewed the Sphinx, a creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human, as a powerful symbol of the union between the material and spiritual realms, just as the Hermetic tradition emphasizes the connection between the macrocosm and the microcosm. Hall's study of comparative religion was not just academic. For him, the study of religion was an essential part of the spiritual journey. By exploring the common threads between the world's great spiritual traditions, one could gain a deeper understanding of the universal truths that bind all human beings together. This understanding, Hall believed, was the key to spiritual enlightenment and inner peace. Through his work, Hall urged us to look beyond the surface differences between religions and focus on the shared wisdom that unites them. Only by embracing this universal truth, he argued, can we achieve true spiritual awakening and experience the divine presence that lies at the heart of all creation. As we continue our exploration of Manly P. Hall's teachings, we now delve into one of his most profound works, The Lost Keys of Freemasonry. In this book, Hall unlocks the deeper mysteries of the Masonic tradition, providing invaluable insights into the spiritual quest that Freemasonry represents. Hall believed that the lost keys were not literal objects, but symbolic keys, insights into the spiritual truths that had been hidden from the majority of the world's population. These keys, Hall argued, were lost over time as society moved away from its mystical roots and became more focused on materialism. However, he believed that they could still be recovered by those who sought them with an open heart and mind. One of the most critical elements of Freemasonry, according to Hall, is its emphasis on personal transformation. Freemasonry is not simply a fraternity, but a spiritual path that leads to enlightenment. The rituals and symbols of Freemasonry, Hall argued, are designed to guide the initiate through a process of self-discovery and spiritual evolution. These rituals are not mere ceremonies, but powerful tools for unlocking the mysteries of existence and reconnecting with the divine. In The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, Hall also explored the concept of the inner temple, a concept that is central to Masonic philosophy. This temple, Hall explained, is not a physical building, but a symbolic structure that represents the inner sanctum of the soul. To build this temple, the initiate must undergo a series of spiritual trials and initiations, each of which brings him closer to the divine wisdom that lies at the heart of Freemasonry. One of the most significant teachings in the book is Hall's idea of the master builder, the individual who has attained a high level of spiritual wisdom and can now assist others on their journey to enlightenment. For Hall, the master builder was a symbol of spiritual mastery, someone who had transcended the material world and had reached a higher state of consciousness. The master builder does not seek power or wealth, but instead devotes himself to helping others achieve spiritual awakening. Through the Lost Keys, Hall believed that we could unlock the mysteries of existence and rediscover the sacred truths that have been hidden for centuries. These keys, however, are not easily obtained. They require dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to challenge one's preconceived notions about the nature of reality. But for those who are ready, the rewards are immeasurable, an understanding of the divine plan and a connection to the higher realms of existence. The teachings in The Lost Keys of Freemasonry were not meant to be understood on a surface level. They require deep reflection and a commitment to personal transformation. Hall's work reminds us that the true quest for enlightenment is not just about acquiring knowledge, it is about becoming the knowledge, embodying the truths that we seek, and living a life that reflects the divine wisdom that lies at the heart of all creation. As we conclude our journey through the hidden secrets of Manly P. Hall, we are left with one undeniable truth. The pursuit of spiritual awakening is a lifelong journey. Hall's teachings remind us that the quest for knowledge and enlightenment is not just an intellectual pursuit, it is a profound spiritual endeavor, one that requires dedication, introspection, and the courage to seek beyond the surface of reality. Throughout his work, Hall emphasized the importance of the inner journey, the journey that takes place not in external temples or secret societies, but within the very depths of our own souls. The wisdom he uncovered was not meant to be hoarded or guarded by a select few. Instead, it was a gift to all who were willing to seek the truth with an open heart and mind. At the core of Hall's teachings lies the belief in a universal truth, a truth that transcends religious, cultural, and philosophical boundaries. This truth, Hall argued, is the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe and the human soul. By following the path of initiation, studying ancient wisdom, and engaging in self-reflection, we can come to know this truth and experience the divine presence that lies at the heart of all existence. But the pursuit of truth is not a destination. It is an ongoing process. As Hall wisely stated, the truth is like a river. It flows, it changes, and it continually reveals new depths. For those who are truly committed to the spiritual path, the journey never ends. There is always more to learn, more to discover, and more to become. Manly P. Hall's work provides us with a profound roadmap for navigating the complexities of life and spirituality. His teachings invite us to awaken to the deeper truths of the universe, to look beyond the material world, and to discover the divine wisdom that lies within us all. Whether through the study of alchemy, Freemasonry, sacred geometry, or the comparative study of religions, Hall showed us that the path to spiritual enlightenment is rich with wisdom and insight, if only we have the courage to walk it. As we conclude this exploration of Manly P. Hall's legacy, let us remember that the search for truth is a journey that continues long after the final page is turned. It is a pursuit that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves, our world, and our connection to the divine. So, as we wrap up, I invite you to reflect on your own spiritual journey. What truths have you uncovered in your life? How can you apply Hall's teachings to your own path? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts with us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for more content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the hidden secrets of Manly P. Hall. Until next time, may your pursuit of truth lead you to wisdom, peace, and enlightenment.